Thomas Massie's insistence on transparency with the Epstein files, as well as his criticism of the war in Iran, has made the congressman enemy number one of the Donald.
One person standing in the way of us all figuring out why his name appears multiple times in the Epstein files. We still don't know why his name appears multiple times in the Epstein files.
We do know why,
is Donald Trump.
We all know why.
Yeah.
You have to know why. Why else do you think he paid $1 billion to Jeffrey Epstein over the time of their friendship? $1 billion. He wrote in his birthday book, "Here's to all the secrets."
The wonderful secrets.
Come on. If this was an Angela Lansbury murder, she wrote, people would be, it's too obvious.
We figured it out.
Obvious.
Today, many eyes will be on tightly contested primaries in Kentucky, Georgia, Texas, and elsewhere, as Republican on Republican crime will be the common denominator. As any conservative incumbent can attest, any disagreement with Trump will not only land you in his doghouse, but will earn you a well-financed primary opponent, even if it hurts their party's chances come the general election.
Thomas Massie's a terrible congressman. He's been a terrible congressman from day one. Dealing with him is just horrible. I don't think he's a Republican. I think he's actually a Democrat. He's not a libertarian. You know, sometimes they say he's really a Democrat. He votes against us all the time. He voted against the border wall. He voted against men playing in women's sports. He voted against transgender for everybody, the mutilization of your children. He voted against, again, open borders.
What the was that?
Senator Bill Cassidy, the now outgoing Republican for Louisiana, lost his recent primary. The lawmaker, a physician, was a popular figure in his home state that is, until Trump decided that payback was in order. 5 years ago, you may remember, Cassidy, along with a handful of Republicans, voted to convict Trump in his impeachment trial 5 years, again, after the insurrection. In the intervening years, he had ingratiated himself to the Donald and even infamously voted against his stated reservations, and I would argue his conscience, in confirming anti-vaxxer RFK Jr. to run the HHS. His vote was critical, and we all believed on the outside part of it was a gentleman's agreement between he and the president that would be reciprocated come primary time. Well, think again. Trump gleefully celebrated Cassidy's loss on Truth Social, posting in part, and I quote, "His disloyalty to the man who got him elected is now part of legend, and it's nice to see that his political career is over," in all caps. For his part, Cassidy took more of a high road in his concession speech, but you didn't need to read between the lines to know full well what he thought of Trump.
And when you participate in democracy, sometimes it doesn't turn out the way you want it to. But you don't pout, you don't whine, you don't claim the election was stolen, you don't manufacture some excuse. You thank the voters for the privilege of representing the state or the country for as long as you've had that privilege. And let me just set the record straight. Our country is not about one individual. It is about the welfare of all Americans, and it is about our Constitution. And it is the welfare of my people and my state and my country and our Constitution to which I am loyal. And if someone doesn't understand that and attempts to control others through using the levers of power, they're about serving themselves. They're not about serving us. And that person is not qualified to be a leader. Leaders should think through the consequences of their actions before embarking on something and then seeing the American people suffer those consequences later. I'm also asked if I am bothered by being attacked on the internet. Insults only bother me if they come from somebody of character and integrity. And I find that people of character and integrity don't spend their time attacking people on the internet.
Damn! While Trump has certainly reaffirmed his dominance over the GOP, it is fair to ask, to what end? What Trump wants, even more than inter-party fealty to him, is that the GOP to continue to hold their razor-thin majorities in both the House and Senate. If the Dems take back either, he would suddenly be subjected to investigations into his litany of scandals that he wants no part of.
I am launching Senate Democrats' Election Protection Task Force to prevent, monitor, and challenge any malfeasance from Donald Trump and the far right before, during, and after our elections in November. Our task force is bringing together 11 senators and some of the sharpest election experts in the country, people like Mark Elias, Eric Holder, Vanita Gupta, Norm Eisen, Skye Perryman, and others, as well as a variety of election protection organizations to safeguard our democracy. I'm looking forward to detailing some of our task force's upcoming plans, and I encourage everyone to tune in.
His retribution tour might claim him a few scalps, but just like the ancient Greek phrase, it will be a Pyrrhic victory, with winning the battle but ending up losing the war. Now, Trump is historically unpopular, and he's made martyrs out of MAGA folks who've dared to not go along to get along, led by none other than Marjorie Taylor Greene, who made it clear she believes her party will pay a price come November.
I do completely disagree where the president has led the country. You know what? It makes absolutely no sense, Pamela, going into midterm elections. Let's remove Donald Trump out of it. Let's just put any president in there. Why would an American president lead his political party into the midterms, waging a full-scale major war, completely unprovoked on Iran? Why would an American president do that, which is forcing gas prices to hike right here going into spring break, where families are going to be driving out of town, going into summer, declaring and waging a major full-scale war that seems to have no end in sight, that is not de-escalating, it's escalating every single day, and it just doesn't make sense.
So while I'm glad Cassidy finally said the quiet part out loud, it was too little, too late. As he learned the hard way, when it comes to Trump, he always comes before party and even country, and no matter what he tells you, loyalty will always be a one-way street.
I was hunted by some very bad people. Now I'm the hunter. It's much better when you're the hunter. But these are bad people, and they'll give you no support at all, no matter how good it is. I mean, as an example, I don't know what the numbers are, but if we go to Congress to get something approved, which we get, but you can say that we're going to reduce drug prices by 80%, and we won't get one Democrat vote.